Mayflum here. On my desk today, I'm working on a little Valentine's Day box, a little Galentine's Day box actually. And I have PPA adhesive. This is my adhesive of choice. It is archival, it dries clear, it's acid free. It's basically, guys, this is the best. This is the liquid glue you need to be using. It also works as a sealant for decoupage, collage, whatever you want to do. So that's the all-around glue. If you haven't heard me say it before, then you probably need to watch more of my videos because I'm always talking about that stuff. So I am working with the Rose All Day 28 Lilac Lane collection of buttons, beads, and things. And what I'm going to do here is just start at one end and place things down. And I don't have to just use this bottle of embellishments either. I could use lots of different embellishments. But what I like to do is start at one side and just start putting things in there, whether it's the little pearls. The little half pearls are great for this. If I'm using the sequins, whatever I'm using, I just kind of start putting them down here from one side to the other. And the reason I like one side to the other is because then I don't get trapped with any gaps. And then I'm sprinkling in little beads here that I'm scooping up like so. I don't get any trapped spots. There's no gaps where there should have been something because I'm just sliding one way to the other. And if you find any areas where you really wish you had more glue, then just go ahead and throw a little more glue in here. And there's no right or wrong here. You know, usually a lot of times when I'm working, I talk to you about working small to large and all of that kind of stuff. In this case, though, that's not the situation at all, actually. In this case, we're working side to side instead of small to large. So you could, and I have worked center and circled outward. The problem with that is sometimes I get to the edge and I don't have enough room, or it's not quite working out the way I had hoped. So I kind of find that I prefer working like this, where it's one side to the other. And the only exception with small to large is that the little tiny beads, I do tend to sprinkle those on after I've got other stuff in there, just because I find it works really well. Once you have your base layer down, you can see my glue is still wet, but you can also see how I've taken little beads and just kind of drop them in gaps. Now we can fill in, and I will, with some glitter glue, or honestly, you can add at this point, once this is dry, you could add, they do make a glossy version of this. You could put a thin layer of the glossy down and then sprinkle glitter. I mean, you can do whatever you would like. What I am going to do is I've just been pulling different bins of mine out that have assorted little fun jewels. And I know I was looking at these beautiful, beautiful butterflies. And so now I'm just kind of thinking what I'll do, and this is something I really like to do, is to arrange a second layer. So I'm probably just going to add the butterfly and maybe a word strip, a sticker strip, and then maybe a couple more little sequins and buttons, because we can absolutely glue additional little buttons and things on top. And that's a lot of fun. And I may also put some little rhinestones, and I have like these little guys, these little stars, just for some contrast and just for fun. Okay, so I can just figure out what I would like, where I would like it. This area right here, I wasn't thrilled with how it came together. So what I'm going to do is just put a lot. You see, that's a good amount of glue. And then just press my butterfly down and just leave it alone. The butterfly will stick. We just need to leave it alone so that it has a moment to get attached there. And these metal butterflies, this is a Tim Holtz butterfly. We absolutely could go and take some adhesive, some paint. We could take some, it has adhesive on it. We could take some paint and paint it, or alcohol inks, or whatever else we wanted to do there. If we wanted to add other things, I'm going to put a couple of these little stars. I don't know where I found these, but they're here and I think they're kind of fun. So I'm going to stick a couple of these little stars on my lid here. And I'm just using a little craft pick here and there to help stick some things in. And then again, I am going to add just a couple of buttons here and there to the top, and maybe a pearl or two, just to add a little more dimension. It's a little fun. Now that this is all drying, you can see I added on the stickers, and then just to seal it up a little, what I like to do is just put a little bit of the PPA on top and just kind of rub it on there. This will just help seal it in and make the paper so that it's not flimsy or terrible. It will just be really stuck on there and stay more firm, like the buttons and other things. Anyhow, on to the sides, I have some ink road stamps here, and what I'm doing is I'm just picking out ones that I like, and I'm inking them with some archival ink here, and then I'm not worrying about it. If I mess it up, I'm not worried at all. I am just putting this down. Now, here's the one thing. Because this is kind of a flexible, so I'm going to want to press from both sides here to make sure that I get it all on there evenly. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. There we go. And then I'm going to put that on down here as well. And you can do this on the curve. You're just going to want to kind of rock it from one end to the other. And if it's a little wonky, guys, don't worry about it. If it's a little wonky, it's a little wonky. And yes, you can even do that over here all the way around the curve. Just again, you see how my fingers are pressing with pressure on the inside while I stamp that on the outside. And I'm just going to continue to do this with different stamps until I've got it filled up. Now, once that's all done and this goes on the top, there'll be, you can see there'll be a kind of a plain area here. I haven't decided yet if I want to put PPA down and dip it in glitter, if I want to leave it plain. It's really personal preference, but you can see how I took this little pink box, I'm just taking the tag off the bottom of it, and really transformed it. If you want to add things to the inside, you can. For me, because I'm going to be putting a gift in there and don't really feel like I need a whole lot in there, I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm just going to continue to add little stamps and have some fun with it. And yes, it's funny to me, I'm using Mean Girl stamps on the side and it's all inspirational on the top, but that's, the recipient will appreciate it for sure. So I'm really happy with that. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited with how this has turned out. I think it's going to be a really one of my favorite little DIY projects here. And don't forget, like this one, I just stamped that off the edge. You can always stamp off the edge of these kinds of projects. Have fun with it. I hope I've inspired you today. Be sure to check out my blog post on this, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'll see you next time.